Alright, UFS community, this is Phil Birch. I'm bringing you a special top 10 edition of my videos. This one is going to be the top 10 players in UFS. Obviously, this is all opinionated, so don't take it to heart. It's not going to include anybody from any play groups pretty much outside of the outside of America, or North America, I should say. So don't go on like bash me if I don't have any UK guys in here or any Chile guys in here, because I don't know you personally. I haven't played with you, and I don't know like how good you are. But anyways, I'm gonna go from 10 to 1, starting at the 10 being the number 10 spot, obviously, and number 1 being the number 1 spot. All right, so here it goes. In number 10, I have Kevin Broberg, Wafflecopter on the forums. He is pretty much the second best player in the on the East Coast, next to Tim Keefe. He is part of Rochester's play group. If you haven't met him, high finishes with slice kicks last year, did really well. Just lost out to Garrett in the finals of last year's Nats, and basically since the slice kicks decline, he hasn't really been doing great in tournaments. But he did get him and the rest of Rochester got an asset in Canada, which is very good for them. Congratulations to those guys again on that. And just overall bringing like their play group up to speed, and like he's just a very good player. He helps them get better at the game by constantly pushing them with his crazy deck types. He's a very competitive player. He shuffles for like 3 hours every game, but that's fine. That's just his thing. All right, next I'm gonna go to number 9. I've got Danny Fung, Double Ariza. He is the best East Canadian player, and probably the second best Canadian player behind Danny Fung, or behind Garrett Brett. I don't know why I said he's behind himself. It's weird. He has had a very strong showing in the past 2 major events that he went to. That would be Can Nats and Worlds, and his Alice deck was very, very good. It was a Death Alice build that pretty much just surprise punishment people to death. It kind of waited a little long. It was very defensive, and like he's a very strong, very consistent player. Has a good play group in Oshawa, and he could have easily beaten me in Canada, and I believe he would have went on to beat everybody else the rest of that day, and he could have had a character instead of me. But like, I don't know. He's my favorite Canadian player, and he's definitely in the top 10 of UFS right now. All right, next I'm going to move to a Michigan guy. We've got Keith Disbro. Maybe you don't all know him. He's Nasir on the forums, but like he's rapidly becoming one of the best players in the game. He's top 8'd in Canada. He had a top 4 at Worlds. He's a team national champion this year. He had second place teams at Worlds, and like he's just gonna keep growing that resume, guys. I don't know if you know him or not, but like he's the Angels player, the guy that keeps showing up with the Angels even though everybody keeps telling him that they're bad. Like his only bad matchup in any tournament he's had is like Paul Bittner, and that's just because Paul Bittner's kind of crazy off the ropes, a good character card that just hurts stacker characters like crazy. But like he's been playing the Angels since they came out, since like they were spoiled, I guess. And like he just keeps tweaking his deck and tweaking his deck with perfection with the rest of the guys in Michigan, and it's just very good. His play is very solid, and he's grown as a player a lot the past year. And like I'm very happy I got to watch that. And you just gotta look for him in top cuts in years to come, man. He's just very good like that. Number 7, I've got AJ Murray, the Hurricane. He's the best West Coast player and probably their best hope for cardboard in the near future. He builds the craziest, most aggro, wackiest deck with high risk, high reward play. But over the past 3 years, that's worked for him. It's worked better for him than any other player. He played like Marathi with 8 bad checks. It was like Rising Typhoon, Playful Slice Marathi, and it was crazy good. He played Temujin with 1 billion bad checks. Pretty much if it's got a 2-check or a 1-check on it, he's playing it in his decks. But like over the past 3 years, he's top cut every major event pretty much, and like he's just, I don't know, dominant in his home field too. He kills at the PTCs they have out there, their regionals, all that stuff. He top 4 to Can Nats, which was really good. I beat him in top 4. He's a team world champion this year, and like he's gonna just keep adding cards to his collection, guys. You just gotta watch out for him. And probably the sexiest man on cardboard. Not sure, maybe though. Which clearly bumps him up a few spots if you know how this works. All right, next I've got Andrew Alexa, Drew Casa on the forums. He's the winningest player in UFS history. He has like the most enormous track record with 2 character cards, 3 assets, 1 foundation, and like he could very easily be number 1 on my list. But like recently, he's kind of struggled, at least to find his rhythm. But like you can't really say anything bad about this guy. The name just speaks for itself. He's crazy good, nicest guy you'll ever meet, and like easily a legend of the game. Um, I know he wasn't really full time committed to the game very much, but like he is definitely dominant force that like everybody has to deal with at some point. And like I don't know, probably the coolest guy I know. All right, number 5 on the list, I have myself. Um, Maybe conceited, but I don't think it's too conceited. I think I put myself in a very reasonable spot on this list. Recently, I've just been doing very well. I've had a lot of top cuts. Every event I've went to, except for nationals and last year's nationals, I've made top cuts in singles. Last year nationals, I won team nationals. This year nationals, I top 4 team nationals. So I've at least top 8'd in every event, or at every major event in some way. But I don't know. I feel like I'm getting very good at this game and very good at building decks, which is not a strength of all of these players on the list. But like, I don't know. I feel like my deck building skills, my playing skills, and everything are really coming together. You can ask a lot of the guys around the community what they think about that, but I think I don't know. I just think I'm coming to a very good spot in my career, and hopefully the game lasts long enough for me to become as good as Andrew Alexa and have as many cards as him. That'd be very cool. Anyways, that's really it for me. Next, I've got Keenan Meadows on my list, Making Sense of Us, I believe is his forum name. I've heard a lot of direct comparisons between me and him, that we're both cocky players, both prodigies of our towns, and both have like champ cards and stuff before like the number 1 guys or whatever. But like I don't know, he's a very cool guy. He's pretty much Swiss champ in every major event ever. He plays the best decks. He's always in the top 4s. He's got a championship and a legacy championship in the same year, a couple years ago. But like, I don't know. I feel like if he traveled to more events, he'd be on just as many cards as everybody else. He'd have tons of cardboard hardware to boast about, but he's kind of limited by a budget and all that stuff, so he doesn't make it to everything. But I'm really super glad he made it out to Nats. He's always at Gen Con, and he's always going to be there smashing everybody with whatever the best deck is, trying to get stuff banned because he's a scumbag. He also diversified me because he's a scumbag, but that's neither here nor there. All right, number 3 on my list, I have Jeremy Ray, failed 2K on the forums. He's basically Michigan's best player. He doesn't have a character card, which is a shame. But like, he's got 4 team championships. He's a great teacher, great theory crafter of the game. Helps the game along a lot of ways. Very good, reliable guy to count on for rulings, for just tech discussions. He'll help you build your deck, all that stuff. He probably doesn't win as much as he could just because he only plays the characters he likes. Like, he could easily be playing the best decks and winning with them, just like everybody else tries to do. But he's rather just support his guys. But he's also the captain of Team Final Boss because you have to go through him every championship to get that character card. Without fail, you're going to go through Jeremy Ray. And you better be ready for it because he's not going to hold back and he's going to try his best every single time. And he doesn't make mistakes, so it's kind of how it is. All right, at number 2, I have Tim Keefe, Satonis on the forums. He's the East Coast best player. He's made top at like every event this past year. He's the number 1 Kazuya player in the world, and like just I don't know, out of this world play. Like, it's only a matter of time before he has like several cards. I don't know, and you could tell because like at Nats he just topped in every event, top 4 in teams, and he was in the finals of both standard and legacy. Like, and he has a very good chance, I believe, of getting his character against Garrett whenever they play, and I think it's soon. And I'm really stoked about it. I kind of want to see him on a card. He's one of my best UFS friends, and he's a cutie. Yeah, but I don't know. Just judging on recent play, he's got to be number two. Um, he could very easily be number one. Number one and number two are pretty interchangeable in my mind. And number one, I've got Garrett Brett. He's dudded on the forums. He's like the mad scientist of Canada. Their very best player, the very best player in the game. His deck building is nothing short of miraculous that they work. He plays tons of one-ofs, and he'll always have them when he needs them. He's got off-symbol sideboard tech, just crazy stuff. He tops every event. He pretty much makes it to the finals of every event. He's builds the best decks, plays the best characters, just all the good stuff. Cause he's just an animal like that. He's like, I don't know. He could easily be the best there is too. He's got a ton of ton of cardboard as well, and he could just add to it and keep adding to it the longer he plays. And it's also rumored that Garrett Brett doesn't blink, so you got to watch out for him because he might be an alien too. You can't tell, I guess. But like that's my top 10, guys. I'd love to see your feedback on it. I'd love to hear your own top 10. I also have some honorable mentions. My honorable mentions, I got Kirk Polka. If he played more, he could easily be top 10. He's a very good player from Michigan as well. But he moved, so I don't think we count him as Michigan anymore. Not sure. Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe is a pretty good Canadian player. He overshadows Danny probably in most people's top 10, but I believe Danny's a better player. Mike Lowe just kind of is on card. Then we got Ayari from the West Coast. Very good player. Nicest guy you'll meet. Maybe limited by deck building or by deck choices that he plays. But he's very good, and I expect to see him at least on something in the future. Sam Waller, another good West Coast player. Very solid player. Very good defensive player. He's beaten my Vespera deck twice. He's pretty much a very good teams player. And I don't know, a very nice guy. Next, I've got Dave Wagner as an honorable mention. He doesn't play as much as he could. If he played more, he'd definitely be making my list as probably top 5 player. And then Piglet. Piglet doesn't travel to many events either. Kind of the whole Atlanta guys thing. They don't really travel, but I know he's a good player. He's got a action card, which is cool because only him and Garrett will ever have action cards in the foreseeable future. And he's just a really good guy. He plays 5-hand size characters pretty much exclusively now, and that's pretty awesome. Pretty much the only guy that does that, him and Jeremy. Anyways, that's my top 10 list. Those are my honorable mentions. And as always, I love your feedback on these videos. I probably could have went into more detail, more matchups, more top cut wins, all that stuff. I didn't really want to give you guys a 2-hour long video about these guys, but that's really it. Feel free to actually comment on this video with your top 10s, post in the forums with your top 10s, hit subscribe, and, keep watching the videos, keep supporting this. Alright guys, take it easy.